Hello and welcome to the SoundLab podcast, interviews unedited. On today's show, interviews from Cory Marks, Cleopatrick, Crawford Mack and Xander AV, plus we throw back to 2016's 2000 Trees Festival to speak to Sikth. So let's crack on, shall we, and play you our first interview from Cory Marks to talk about his new record and more. Cory Marks, how are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Thanks so much. So after this interview, we'll play the title track off your new record, Sorry for Nothing. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
That song is really just, it's a song about, where I've been, what I've been through and kind of where I'm heading today. And, really kind of describes that upbringing and, those chapters of life that led me to where I am now. And, as you know, if you've listened to my music, I'm a little country, I'm a little rock, and even a little metal. So, I'm creating music that I really believe in and that I love, and for that, I'm sorry for nothing.
Good. There's an acoustic version of this track as well. What was the reason behind making the acoustic version?
I like just giving it a more personal, in-depth sound, and more along the lines of how the song came to life and how I wrote it. And just it's always nice to hear a stripped down version of the song, and as you hear, we added a little more of those pretty piano parts and that mandolin and steel guitar. So it's a special version of that song that that I enjoy listening to, and I just felt that it was necessary to have that softer version of the song.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And as mentioned, that came off your latest record of the same name, which came out in December last year. For those who've not had a chance to take a listen to it, what can we expect to hear on the record?
Look, I think there's something for everybody. It's like I just mentioned, there's real, country, from the artists that I grew up like Merle Haggard and Vince Gill, like that kind of, throwback real country. There's some hard rock and there's even a little metal in there too, mixed in from all my influences.
Yeah.
It's the best way to describe the record is almost like the first one, Who I Am. But it's Sorry for Nothing. The record it's a little Merle Haggard, it's a little Eric Church, it's a little Bryan Adams, and a little Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. There's a bit of everything on there. As you mentioned, there's country, there's rock, there's metal on there as well. You've had quite a few featured artists on there, which covers the country and the rock and the metal side of things. What was it like getting the likes of Sully Erna, Travis Tritt, Mick Mars, and DL from Bad Wolves on your music, for instance?
It was great, man, and they've obviously added so much more to the song, and getting to work with Mick and Travis again from previous singles like Outlaws and Outsiders, and to be able to really call them friends is really something special. And it was nice to get to be able to record another song with them, and then getting to meet Sully Erna over the last year or so has been fantastic, and to have a rock legend like him on a track was very special. And of course, DL featured on the track Guilty. He just does this thing and sounds great at it, and added that much more to the song. So I'm really grateful for their not only their friendship but believing in what I'm doing and wanting to be part of it. So it was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do the tracks normally start off?
It all depends, and this project really comes from songs that stem from COVID. So some of these songs are 3-4 years old. Probably the most country song on the record, "Late Night of Drinking Again." I wrote that myself 7, maybe 8 years ago now. So it's a track that I really wanted to have on this record. And compared to the last one, it's "My Whiskey, Your Wine," which is really that Haggard like sound, and this one's got that too. So. And then I've written with some new writers like Aaron Gillespie. Well, not new writers, but new to me. And we've made I just got back from Nashville last week and had another couple great writes with him.
Mm-hmm.
The drummer for Under Oath, and so getting to meet some of these people and writing with them and creating new music has been great. It's always great, especially when you're in Nashville. And this writing process is just. I tend to only write about what I know, what I've lived, and kind of what I've been through. And I think that's why the music translates so well with the listeners, whether they're country, rock, or metal, because it's mostly very relatable.
Is
And
it lyrics that start things off? Is it a riff, a guitar part? What kind of
um,
specifically
it all
launches the track?
it all depends. Sometimes it's just a mood, whatever mood
Mm,
you're in. Obviously you get a cool guitar riff and you can build around that. Sometimes it's just a song title. Often for me, it starts with a song title, and I kind of just build around that.
And do you know kind of what style the track's gonna be when you sit down to write? Do you know when you sit down it's gonna be a country song you're gonna look towards, or is it start and then see the direction it goes in?
I just make sure that by the time the song's done, it's a Cory Marks song.
Do you have a specific preference yourself, or are you just happy with all of it?
Not really. I mean, like I said, it depends on the mood and kind of where my head's at and where I want to go. Like right now with this album especially, it's leaning more towards the countryside, but still adding those rock elements because it's still a big part of who I am. So, um, like I said, I just make sure it's going to be something that I want to sing for a long, long time, and hopefully that people are going to love for a very long time.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you are going to be able to play these tracks live when you're heading out on tour in just a few days' time now. I bet you can't wait to be
Yeah.
on the road again.
Taking off tonight actually. So I'm currently at my tour manager's place just outside of Toronto, where we're going to be taking off and fly over to Switzerland. I think is where we're meeting, and then head over to Germany. So to start the almost 3 week run across UK and Europe. So it's my first time over there getting to play. So we're gonna give them hell.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even after those 3 weeks over here in Europe, a few weeks later, you're going to be back out across America as well for a month.
Yeah, so right after that tour. I don't think I'm off for more than 2 weeks, and then we head over to Nashville for a couple days of rehearsals. I'll probably go in a week before for meetings, and might even get a write in there too. And then yeah, we have 3 weeks out with Dorothy
Mm.
across the U.S. So we're going to be playing some cities and states I haven't been to yet, and that I've been wanting to go to, like Colorado. So that'll be really cool, and just to get to cross the U.S. For my fourth, I think, or fifth time in the last 2 years. So it's rock and roll, man. Looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
no, yeah, I can well imagine. We're then into festival season. Are you planning to be at some festivals this year?
Yeah, so far, we have probably around a dozen between June and August, mixed between Canada and US. Um, there's talks about me coming back over to the UK and Europe again, maybe later on in the year. So I'm excited to see what transpires there, and I know there's going to be a lot more dates added to the books here in the upcoming months. So I'm excited about that.
Good, good. Is there anywhere you've not been to yet that you want to get to?
Well, aside from the dates on this upcoming tour in Europe, um, it's hard. Australia is actually they've been so wonderful to me over the last few years, and I know there's a lot of fans down there that are eager to see me in the show as much as I am to see them. So hopefully that trip will come sooner than later.
Yeah, nice. And coming back to the music side of things, have you put thoughts towards what I think might be record four now? Is there ideas floating around?
Well, yeah, man. Over the last few years, I've written so many songs and recorded quite a few. So there's actually nine in the vaults that are locked and loaded and ready to go, and we have there's a bunch more songs that haven't even been recorded yet. So, needless to say, I'm ready for album 3 and 4.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Cory Marks. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab Yes on all the socials, and you can also check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now let's move on and play you our next interview from Cleopatrick. They've got a new record on the way, and we had a little chat with them about it. Cleopatrick, how are you?
Good.
Doing well.
Good. Great stuff. So we've been playing a new single of yours called Please. One of you, tell us a bit about the single.
Please is a song from our new record, Fake Moon. I don't know. What could I say about Please? I think it's great.
Rockin' track.
Good. I'm glad you like it. And as you mentioned, that is off your new record, Fake Moon, which is coming out March 14th. What can we expect to hear on the record?
Um, yeah, the record's got a bunch of great songs on it. Like, please. Yeah, it's just music we wrote over the course of pretty good span of time. Music that we put a lot of ourselves into. A lot of cool production, a lot of like depth, and something that we're really proud of. It's a great record to listen to front to back.
Nice, nice. And the sound that you've made with this record, was it the sound that you wanted to make, or is it simply just how it turned out in the studio?
Yeah, I guess it was the sound we wanted to make, right? Like yeah, songs had been coming out for a while, and yeah, I guess it was just the sound we wanted to make. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice, nice. And there must have been more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Do you consider them again next time around, or do you think you'll bin them off and you'll start again?
Well, that's a good question. Um, I don't know. I think that historically, the scraps surrounding our projects, I don't think they've usually been used in the end. But I mean, that's just so far. So who knows? Maybe one day we're going to have a record that's just full of all the like B-side
Hmm.
ideas that didn't make it onto the original projects. Um, Tough to say, but yeah, there's definitely some trimmings.
Hmm. Yeah, nice. And this is your second record, but you've released a bunch of EPs as well. Let's start off with the question of how was the music of this record sound in comparison to the debut and to the EPs as well?
Oh, I think that there's a great journey um, through like everything we've ever put out. There's a really interesting storyline there. If you listen like in chronological order, you could hear us really wearing our influences on our sleeves and then discovering our own sound and ideas and then expanding our production into something that's more unique and then delving into deeper themes and maturing a lot, which is kind of where we end up on this last this record, Fake Moon. It's kind of at like the top of the staircase so far as like songwriting quality, production quality, messaging. Like, I really feel like this is our big boy album. Not to discredit the other stuff because I think it's all been great. It's all been like super honest about where we're at whatever time these things were recorded. But there's just a cool journey there. You can watch us grow up through this catalog.
Nice, fair enough. And the conventional way of releasing music and the way it's been done for a long time has been start off with EPs and then go into albums. But you decided to release Doom and the demos of Doom kind of between the two album releases. What made you decide that it was now time to do an album again rather than stick to maybe back to the EP route again?
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I don't really think about EPs that way. Like I actually think EPs are a really cool way to share music. Like it's like you can do like this little collection of a single idea or like this like little mini world, this
Mm.
microcosm of an album. And I think that that's actually like very uh exciting and like an interesting way to share music. So like when we've been so busy with touring or whatever's going on in our lives, maybe too busy to like make a full record or um, don't feel like we have the vision or the like message for a full record. EPs have been a really great way to like share where we're at and make something meaningful without needing to like spend 2 3 years writing and producing the music. So it was just a choice of like with Doom and stuff. It just felt like a great way to share some music without putting too much pressure on it, but still making it like something special.
Mm. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. And you touched on touring. The good news is you will be out on the road again in March here in the UK. I bet you can't wait to be doing some more shows.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
How's the set list coming along?
Oh, it's good. It's totally locked in and concrete, and we know exactly what we're playing.
Is it going to be predominantly this record, or are you going to be? I'm sure you'll put some of the older stuff in there as well, but how's it kind of panning out?
All I'm gonna say is it's dynamic. Yeah, it's gonna be dynamic. It's gonna be awesome. There'll be a mix of oldies and newies, and it's gonna be a whole new thing. It's gonna be beautiful. Very excited about the live show, I think.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure. And these are the only dates you've got booked in at the moment. So once this tour's kind of over with, what is your plan next? Are you hoping to get some more dates in the diary?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I also kind of want to make some more music, so we'll see what happens. Like, it would be cool. I know there's a lot of people out there in the world that want us to come to their cities, so
Mm.
we might make that happen. Um, but I don't know. There's no, like you said, there's no concrete plans yet.
But discussions are going on.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Is there anywhere you've not been to yet that you want to get to at some point?
Oh yeah. There's tons of places like Australia. I want to go to Japan. I don't know if anybody really listens to us in Japan, but I'd like to go tour there.
There's a good market for music over there, so I've heard
That's
good
what I've
things.
heard. Yeah. You seen Lost in Translation?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Japan.
yeah, absolutely. It's a good place. I've heard many good things about Japan and Asia in general for music, but then they love this sort of music over there too. So yeah, I'm not surprised. We're then into festival season as well. Are you hoping to get some festival dates in the diary too?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess that's sort of up to our agent. Like, there's always the strategy of when you play festivals and
Mm.
how you approach them, and he explains it to us every now and then. But I honestly don't. I don't remember how it works. So could be that we're going to get an email at some point of people asking us to play some festivals, or maybe that's going to be a next summer kind of thing. It's probably a next summer kind of thing.
Sounds likely, more likely to me as well. I'd like to talk about writing as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
Many different ways. Like, I think lately, Ian and I have both gotten really into like the production side of things. So like, we start a lot of ideas on our laptops, like in Ableton, like just kind of making stuff. Um, like the demo phase has been a really important part of the new music we've been making. So yeah, I just say that, like kind of twisting knobs in the DAW, recording little things, and then usually that can bloom into a song.
Hmm. Yeah, and I like to talk about the lyrics as well. So, how easy do you find it to create the lyrics when the music's there?
Depends. Usually it's pretty easy actually, as long
Hmm.
as I just gotta catch I gotta catch a wave on like one good lyric, and then usually I can build the whole song up from there. But sometimes they are elusive, in which case I know I just need to wait and listen, and then sometimes it never happens. But usually there's like, if you give it long enough, you hear some guy say something at the coffee shop, and you're like, oh yeah, there we go.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Cleopatrick. Now, we also have a Spotify playlist. It's called Fresh, where you can check out 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we absolutely love, that we think you might enjoy too. So go and check it out, and you might be able to find your brand new favourite up-and-coming artist on there. Link on our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now, up next is the interview from Crawford Mack. He's been releasing music over the past year or so, and we had a little chat with him about it. So, Crawford Mack, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jim. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. So, we've been playing a new single of yours called Think About It. Tell us a bit about the single.
Well, I initially wrote it about the events before the Capitol riots in the United States. And I kind of imagined Donald Trump's mirror image, like his reflection, goading him into like stoking up this mob. And then the more that I thought about that narrative, I thought that often it's actually media and media moguls themselves that can help people get whipped up into this kind of frenzy. And I thought about this kind of character representing those media moguls who kind of says to celebrities and politicians, as long as it doesn't actually matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're on our team and that we support you, it's going to be fine no matter what happens. So just you do what we tell you and everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, nice. Is this now the start of more new music to come?
It is, yes. I've taken about a year just writing and recording with different people, and to follow up from my first album, Bread and Circuses. And now we're going to see like a steady stream of releases to give as much promotion opportunity as possible.
Lovely. How's it sounding?
I'm pretty excited, I must say. Some of it can get quite eclectic. There's one coming out soon. It's called I Haven't Finished Yet / Panic Attack, which is an absolute madness. I'm very excited to see what people make of it.
And the sound that you've made with these tracks that you've got coming, is it the sound that you wanted, or is it just simply how they've turned out in the studio?
I think it's always a bit of both. I think you can surprise yourself a bit. I mean, yeah, it is very close to what I first envisaged. But then, sometimes you just turn on a piece of hardboard gear or just something in the room completely changes how a track goes. I mean, in the case of Think About It, it originally had a very, very different type of accompaniment. And to be honest, I was almost going to say, oh, this isn't working. I really like the concept of the song, I like the melody, but I just don't think it's working. And then one day, I was just sitting with the producer Jamie Evans and started almost as a joke, like playing it with this kind of like Bill Withers kind of stabs, and suddenly I was like, oh, it works. Like that groove leaves space for the lyrics, so it wasn't what I envisaged at all, and at first, but yeah, somehow I'm really happy with the result. You guys can decide if it works.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, when it comes to the writing, how do tracks normally start off for you?
I normally start with a chord sequence, and that kind of evokes a certain kind of emotion. But sometimes I do try to switch it up and free form write, wake up in the morning and first thing just write about any object in the room, just to kind of get my brain working. Um, I also really like reading novels that have been translated from other languages because the translator's job kind of takes idioms from their culture and their language
Mm.
and tries to make it something familiar for us, which kind of can lead to all these like sayings that kind of sound weird, but you know what they mean in English. And I would quite like using those as the jump off point.
Nice, nice. And when you create the music first, is it quite easy to fit your lyrics into the music you've created?
Well, I think, sometimes. I mean, easy is maybe the wrong way to put it, but what happens is you get a rhyming structure that can kind of form, and therefore you know that like either there's going to be internal rhymes between like line 2 and 3, or it's going to be like 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. And I find that there comes a point where your brain almost goes like a bit of a Sudoku puzzle, and it's just like, oh, well, that's the thing that makes sense. And it wouldn't have been the same conclusion someone else had got there, but that's the joy of it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you're busy tomorrow because you've got your first show of the year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm playing the Glad Cafe in Glasgow with my band, so we just came up from London. Just drove up yesterday, so I really can't wait. I mean, for me and the keys player Luke Marr, it's a chance for us to play back home, which is always particularly special.
Yeah, absolutely. And is this now more? Is there more touring coming? Because that's the only date you've got booked in at the moment.
It is. We were going to do something in London at the end of January, but just for one reason or another, we had to kind of move that gig. But we're looking to have some London shows, an Edinburgh show, and a Leeds show soon.
Nice, nice. And then
Which
we're
we're
into
doing.
yeah, and then we're in festival season, of course. When we hit the summer, you hoping to be doing some festival shows?
I am indeed. I'm talking to some bookers at the moment, so we'll just see how it works out.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Crawford Mack. Now, we also have these interviews alongside some music on our radio show. Yeah, it's a 2-hour long radio show where interviews from today's podcast are on there, alongside a load of new music too, from some more well-known artists, I must admit. And there is a live session on there too. So go and check that out. Link on our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now let's play you our final brand new interview. It comes from Xander AV. He's just started releasing music himself. Really good music it is actually, and I hope you enjoy it if you go and check it out. So Xander AV, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jim. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. So we've been playing a new single of yours called Fall. Tell us a bit about the single.
Well, it was written about a year ago now, and it was all about how me and my ex-girlfriend we'd split up, and it was really just going through that process of realizing how difficult it can be to go through that transition when you've been with somebody for a while and you're still in all the same places, physically that you used to be in together, and there's just all those little reminders, and it makes it so hard to kind of just fall away from that experience. And also in her experience, she moved away and she went off traveling and did all that thing. So it's always that thing of almost, I'm still here and you're still kind of here, in memory form, and you've gone off and you're away, and have you found something different? And so that's really the kind of themes that the song explores.
Nice. And it's coming off your debut EP. What can we expect on the release?
It is. So obviously this is launch number 1. It'll be a 4-track EP, which I'm really excited about. It's been a long time coming. So this has been different songs from different experiences over the years that I've kind of pieced together that I thought would work really well as like a packaged EP. So obviously, I said Fools, the first one, exploring those kind of themes, and they're all rooted in that kind of really raw kind of singer-songwriter aspect, with additional elements from other genres kind of dropped in there. The second single's almost a little bit more lo-fi. This one's got a lot of kind of orchestral, instruments thrown into it at the end, with a really nice violin and viola part that we wrote, and it's all recorded live, which was really nice. So it's a really nice organic sounding EP, which for me as an artist was really satisfying to make.
Yeah, was it the sound that you wanted to make?
100%. And I'm really happy. I feel like I listen to a lot of singer-songwriter music now, and popular music. I think it has almost from a production perspective gone back to a little bit more classical. There's more folky elements and country elements, which for me was like, okay, this is great, because there's nothing worse than you wanting to make a sound and someone going, well, that sound's not really in right now, and you feel a bit like, oh man, I really want to make this. So to be making the sound that I want to make, and that sound also be in vogue, as it were, at the minute, is really good. So yeah, I'm really happy with how they've all turned out.
Nice. Is there scope for things that you want to try to see if they work for you to when you go forward in the future?
Definitely. I mean, like anybody nowadays with modern streaming services, I've got a very eclectic music taste. So there's lots of different things I'd like to draw from. And obviously, with it being the first few tracks that I'm releasing, I'm really focused on, making them as dynamic as possible to really make the audience feel invested in the songs. The kind of 6.5 minute, more progressive stuff can be a harder sell to somebody who's never even heard of me before. So I've tried to make these first few songs as punchy and as catchy and as captivating as possible, to hopefully bring people onto the ride, to show, just where I can expand from the themes that I'm establishing with these early singles.
Nice. I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, for me, it's always find a progression that I like on either the guitar or the keyboard. I've got my keyboard next to me here, and I've got my guitars on the wall over there. So it's always playing around with different progressions, different melodies that I like, and then really just humming a vocal line over the top of that, and then seeing what phrasing and wording really comes from that. I know everybody's got different styles. A friend of mine writes poetry effectively first and then finds melodies to that, but I just find that much more difficult to do. I'd much rather almost let the music guide it and then fit the words to the melody. That's how I've done it in the past.
Are the lyrics a bit of a challenge at times, or do they come kind of straightforward?
It's funny. I mean, sometimes it's like turning a tap on, and it's you can write. I mean, Fool, for instance, I wrote in an evening. Just sat down, was playing around with. There's lots of open suspensions on the guitar. It's in standard E tuning, but they're effectively bar chords without the root note at the top for the majority of the song. So you get a really nice kind of droney kind of sound on the guitar. And it really, I always think once you get the first line, you can really just then build. It's like, I think it's sometimes, I've said it before, it's like building a puzzle. Once you've kind of got the edge and you're working your way in, I feel like that's when you can really start picking some momentum up. And then you're putting in the last few pieces, that's going back and just is that line as good as I want it to be, or maybe I want to tweak that. But yeah, it's I feel like sometimes it can be, I need to take a few days break because I'm just writing drivel. Whereas other times it can be, I'm on a roll now, and bang, 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 and you're really happy with how it's turned out.
Nice. I'm sure people will want to start seeing you playing some live shows soon. What's your plan?
Well, at the minute I love a pub gig, love a bar gig. I think they're a lot of fun, and you tend to find people at those kind of venues they're out there to socialize and see their friends and have a nice evening. So generally spirits are quite high on those evenings, which is great. So it's nice to build on that. And I always like to throw in the songs that everyone wants to hear, and then I'll sprinkle in a few originals in there as well, which I think people like. Similar to what I said earlier, get them in on the hook, and then once you've got their attention, right, drop them something that they haven't heard before. And funnily enough, it's always those songs that then when I always in a break, I'll go and speak to people that have been particularly engaged, and they always go, "Oh, that original song you did for track 6 or whatever, that was great. Can I listen to that anyway?" So I do a lot of those, and obviously with summer slowly being around the corner, pub gardens and all that kind of thing are always where you can find me. But on all my social medias, I'm always plugging that when I'm playing.
Awesome. As you're fairly new to this, I'd like to find out what made you do this in the first place.
Well, I was 8 when I first started singing. So I'm 26 now. I'd be in the over 25s on X Factor, which is quite hard to believe. But I was 8 when I first started singing, and that just kind of grew as I got older, and then had my first breakup when I was 14, and started writing songs about it with my friend who played guitar. And then it really just kind of grew from there, and it became first a great outlet as a young teenager, and you think the world's against you and everybody hates you. It's a great way to just decompress. And then as I've got older, it's just a really great kind of social thing. I mean, it's a great way. All my friends now, people moving away and busy life schedules, we see each other most of the time when it's Xander's playing a gig. Should we go and watch Xander play? That becomes a little bit like the hub, which can be nice. And like we said before about your guitars, and once you get bitten by the bug, it can be quite difficult to pull yourself away from it. Gigging's a lot of fun. You meet some great people, and I still have that emotional kind of venting, even though sometimes it's subconscious. Now I'll end up writing something. People ask me, "Oh, when you write, do you go with the idea to, well, today I'm going to write about this?" And it's always just no. It's just what comes will come. What subconsciously leaks out into the conscious brain. So yeah, it's that really. It's a bit of an addiction at this point. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, which is great.
Good. And you must have some aspirations of things you want to achieve. If you had to pick one thing on that bucket list that you have to do in that music industry, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, even at this stage, because I'm a big believer in small goals, big targets, all that kind of thing. And I guess more of like a medium-sized goal would be I'd love to support a band that or an artist that I've always been a huge fan of. I saw the Script, who are big influences of mine, in December, and they played a small gig in Prism in Kingston, which is local to me. They did an early show at 6:00 and a late show at 8:00. It was about an hour, and we went to the early one and the late one. And I stayed afterwards and had a little conversation with Danny, who's probably the reason I got into singing and music. So I think being able to support a band like that at some point in my life would be pretty cool.
Did you plug your music to him?
I'd have loved to. He actually said, because it was just before Christmas, he said, I need to get my fiance something for Christmas. Have you got any suggestions? So I shouted up, you should get her my upcoming EP, right? And we were chatting about that, and afterwards he was like, you're the musician, and I was like, yeah. So he was like, mate, what's your name? I'll keep an eye out for you. So it'd be that'd be a real kind of amazing experience for me.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Xander AV. And this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time to an interview we did in our early years. Now, back in 2016, we went to 2000 Trees Festival to interview some artists. One of those artists was one of the bands called Sikth. They've just got back together to release more new music, but let's go back in time to 2016 to speak to Sikth. How are you?
Yeah, cool, thanks.
Good,
Just
good.
got here, man.
So you've just got here. Looking forward to today at 2000 Trees.
Yeah, I haven't even seen anything around the festival, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Literally just driven in and you're straight to me. Yeah.
Exactly, just got out of the van and seen you.
Yeah. Have you seen the lineup? Anyone you want to see?
Nah,
No.
I haven't seen it, man.
You haven't seen
Not
it?
really, no.
It's good. You should check it out. There's some good bands.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So tell us what's been going on with you guys over the recent times.
I don't know.
Last
mate.
couple of months, really.
Our last couple of months, we've been
Yeah.
writing music.
Yeah.
And things like that. We've been writing music, getting ready for a new album.
Yep.
And we're getting ready to tour America as well, so that's a big thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about this album you might have coming out in the future. Where you at with it?
Actually, to be honest, I can't tell you anything right
you
now
not?
because nothing's happening.
No.
Nothing has happened in the way that nothing is fully written, and I haven't gone where I want to go lyrically yet. So I write lyrics, and that's what I often talk about in interviews. You know, because I'm not involved in writing it. I write the vocals and the lyrics. So
There's bits and pieces floating around. And
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be probably more extreme and probably more experimental than anything we've done before.
Okay.
But we'll have to wait and see with that one, to be honest.
So how has your music progressed over the years? Because you've been around for a long time.
Our last thing we did was Opacities, and we were a lot more groovy, and it was a lot more straight up, in your face kind of thing. And I really like, for instance, the song Philistine Philosophies. I think that musically and lyrically, vocally, I really like that song. Like everything about it, it was, that's for me. That's like one of the best songs we've done.
Yep.
It's up there with, So basically, we want to take it further. More extreme melodically, more extreme aggressively, and in all those kind of. The only thing I would say about Opacities is it wasn't as experimental as we probably want to go on this new album. We want to go a lot more go into different places musically.
Push the boundaries.
Even more, into different places. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Don't necessarily stick. It was very heavy. It had its moments on there. It had a very epic thing like Days to Dream, but we feel we want to musically go into different places as well with it.
Excellent. So you're off to America?
Yeah, hopefully off to America and stuff, and in August. Yeah. One sec. Hey, dude. Oh, cool. Do you want us to come in 5 minutes? Is that good?
I don't know. You best not asking them. I'm good whenever, man.
All right, thanks, dude. Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, we come here late, so I'm fucking. I'm in trouble because we were meant to do all these interviews really quickly. America. I've never been to. I've never toured in America. I've always wanted to, man. You know what I mean? It's a big thing. So that's a massive ambition. That, Australia, and that's it really.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, right, I've done it.
You've done them all. Done all the main ones.
The thing is,
I've
done it. Like the crazy thing is that you think, since you're very young, you get these ambitions in your head.
Yep.
And you're like, America, all these bands have done that, and now Australia, I've always wanted to go there. Never been to Australia, I've been to America like 4 times or something. But anyway, we went to Kathmandu. Never even heard of Kathmandu. I mean, I never knew where it was before we went there.
I don't know where it is.
It's in Nepal. It's between China and India.
Yeah.
And anyway, that was the best place we've toured because it was so. We played one gig, we didn't tour, but you know what I mean. It was so different, and like you just somewhere I'd never expected there to be like a great rock scene and all that.
Yeah.
I just never,
and it went down
because
well.
I never even knew where it was. It went down really well, and we went to India and like loads of Nepalese people were there, and it's amazing. Really buzzy place. It's really chilled, man.
So, any plans on coming back to the UK, touring the UK anytime soon?
Yeah. I mean, well, we're just doing bits and little bits here and there. I think we're hoping to do something early next year, maybe, but not a headline. It'll be like supporting someone bigger than us because we need to be. We play to our fans. We've done our reunion. We've done our like headline tour.
Yep.
to the fans we gathered over the years, or maybe have found out on the internet, when we've been away, and the ones who were there before. Now we want to like play to newer fans as well as our old fan. You know what I mean? Like every band does, man. You want to expand it. You know what I mean? So that's where we feel we want to freshen it all up.
Okay, cool. So if people wanted to find out more about you or get hold of any music, how can they go and do that?
Sikth Band. That's it. Sikth.band.
Yep.
That's a website, and then Sikth Official, I think it is, on the Facebook. And if you go to Sikth.band, you get all the links there. So there.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Mikey from Sikth. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't you worry, we will be back next week with a brand new episode of Interviews Unedited. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And I will see you next week for another episode of The Sound Lab's Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.